Welcome back. I just moved to Wisconsin, way up north in a whole new county, and I gotta find a place to mine gold. Now, Douglas County was heavily glaciated, so there should be gold around that the glaciers brought down. I just gotta find it. And the first place I'm gonna go look is the shores of Lake Superior. Now, one of the things you'll notice is the water here is red. It's not crystal clear like a lot of other places in the lake. And that's because we're at the bottom of a glacial lake plain. And these giant beds of clay were deposited. Now, during the Ice Age, the water level was about 500 feet higher over my head. And so this was deposited at the bottom of Glacial Lake Duluth. See, as the glaciers were receding, it created an ice dam. And the water didn't escape on Whitefish Bay where it escapes now. It escaped out the Brule River, the St. Croix River. Now, I don't believe there's going to be any gold at all in this clay, because during deposition, it would have been very deep, still water, and it takes energy to carry gold to the locations. You will find boulders and cobbles in the clay, however, and those are what we call glacial drop stones. As the ice was receding, or as the glacier was receding, pieces of it would break off, and there'd be icebergs in the middle of Lake Superior, and those icebergs would contain boulders and rocks, and as they would melt away, they would drop into the clay beds. So we call these drop stones. But how much gold dropped in? I'm guessing not very much at all. However, on the shores is full of sand, and I don't know where that came from. That's been rolling around and drifting around for thousands of years. Rivers like this one dump out into the lake, and maybe those rivers carried gold, if it got by the clay first. Now, the reason I'm here is because of that, black sand. I'm sure you guys have seen other YouTubers who come to the shore of Lake Superior, they dig in the black sand, and they find pretty good gold. Well, not all black sand has gold, but I'm gonna see if this does. It's not super thick, but we'll see if there's any gold with it. I'm just gonna take a small handful and test that. It's tricky with these waves. Make sure that gold's at the bottom. Get that blonde sand off. And we'll toss her back and see if there's any gold in that. And I see absolutely zero specks of gold in that. They say gold rides an iron train. Sometimes the train is empty. Now, I don't have any mining equipment other than my pan. I'm not going to be mining today. I'm just going to be prospecting, trying to find some gold. So I'm going to test each bed of black sand and see if we can get some with some color. I keep forgetting my camera behind. Red water. I take small samples of black sand. I'm hoping to just see 1 or 2 specks. I know I'm not going to see a lot. I just want to know it's there. Anywhere. At any amount. But so far, I'm not having much luck. Nothing. I find different layers of black sand at different thicknesses and different grain sizes. But still, it seems to be a little bit of a challenge to find any gold. It's also a challenge to pan in these waves. Nothing again.
Nothing.
Figure if I keep walking east, eventually I'll run into Michigan. And hopefully some gold. Here's the real treasure. Thimbleberries. They're like a velvet raspberry, but very soft. So good. That one was a little sour though. That's a nice rock right there. You get it? A nice rock?
That's a joke, boy. You missed it.
That's the name of the rock.
The fast ones get right by you.
Geology joke. It's no good if you have to explain it. Going down the beach, it's pretty tough going. There's really not even that much beach. This goes right into these clay banks. Well, I took a good long walk down the beach and I didn't find a single speck of gold. So it just goes to show not all black sand has gold in it. I saw one video where a guy set up his high banker on the shore, started running sand, which is illegal, by the way. You cannot run a high banker on the Wisconsin shoreline. They do that in the UP, and even that is illegal as of right now, 2024. They're trying to get that to change back though. Anyway, he ran his high banker for a good long while, and he found 4 specks of gold. So in Douglas County, at least, I don't think there's any beach mining that's gonna be too productive. But I got 2 more types of glacial formation that I'm gonna check out. Now, Douglas County has 3 main types of glacial deposits: the clays, the till, and the glacial outwash. I'm gonna check out each one and see if I can find gold. Now, the next spot I'm gonna try is a lot farther up on the glacial lake plain, closer to the shoreline. There's still clay beds around, but this river also runs through a lot of bedrock. You can see there's big cobbles, boulders, and bedrock everywhere, so I figure maybe I can find some gold in these little rock crevices. Now, the bedrock here is basalt. It's all volcanic rock. Wisconsin doesn't seem like a very volcanically active place, but back in the day it was. There was massive volcanic flows. We find deposits miles thick of lava beds. And that was during the time of the mid-continental rift, when the country was trying to pull itself apart, geologically speaking. I'm gonna check some of these crevices and these pockets in this bedrock and see if I can't find some specks of gold. This kind of looked like a drop riffle from a sluice box, but seemed to kind of only have sugar sand. But let's pan it down. All right, let's toss it back. See if there's gold. Nothing. This gravel bar looked like good material. And nothing again. Now, when I look through these cobbles, I see nothing but basalt and a little bit of sandstone. I don't see any schist, I don't see any gneiss, and no metamorphics. In other words, I'm not seeing a lot of glacial deposits. I know that's the primary source of the gold. So I just don't see very good material here that would supply the gold that I'm looking for. So as cool as this spot is, I'm just not seeing what I need to see. I don't see any quartz, I don't see any schist, I don't see any metamorphic or igneous rocks other than this basalt. So I need to go look farther up in the till zones to see if any gold dropped out there. All right, spot number 3, there's this inside bend on this river, small gravel bar here. Let's see. Nothing. And when I look at the cobbles around here, I'm still seeing nothing but basalt, maybe a few sandstone. I want to see those igneous and metamorphic rocks. I want to see those quartz veins. That's what I'm really looking for. Some of these deposits looked really good at first, but then when I dug into them, they didn't really look good at all. So there's gravels on the top, but underneath it's just sugar sand. That's not really what I want. I'd rather have the big cobbles mixed all through it. So I'm at another small creek and I see a nice big piece of gneiss. So that's some metamorphic rock. Let's try it here. So I see some red gneiss, some rhyolite, still a lot of basalt, but there's more igneous, more variety here. That's a good sign. No quartz though. There's not much for black sand. Let's see if there's any gold. Nothing. So this next spot, there's an old sand and gravel pit here. When I look around at the boulders and cobbles that I see igneous rocks. There's some granite, some gneiss. I don't see any quartz, but maybe the glaciers sorted this area and there's a river right next to it. So possibly there's some gold there. So this was a gravel bar that was pretty much all pea gravel. And when I dug down, just choked with sand. No gold. Nothing. It's a heck of a big white pine. See how big it is. About 3 1/4 pans around. This is the type of tree that was all over here before the loggers came. The giant white pine. This is basically Wisconsin's redwood, except we call it white pine, so, you know. But maybe if you listen, it'll tell you where the gold is. I don't hear anything. Now this is a spot more in the center of that glacial till zone. I see more variety of stones and cobbles, but still the material doesn't look like good material that I found gold in the past. It's a weird mix of gravels and silt. It doesn't necessarily look like it's been well sorted. I see some black sand. Pretty fine grain though. Kind of want to see a little bit coarser black sands. Nothing. I need some Kool-Aid. This is, I believe I will find gold today, Kool-Aid. This next spot I found by looking over Google Earth. It looked like a good spot. It looks like a good spot now that I'm here. Let's hope it is a good spot. Got a nice gravel bar here to dig on. The water is crystal clear here. Really nice stream. I'd like to see some quartz, because a lot of times that's where the gold comes from, quartz veins. Dang it, nothing again. You have any idea how excited I'm going to be when I actually do see gold in the pan? There's another gravel bar up here. Let's check that one out. Oh my gosh, there's gold in this pan. It's a tiniest little speck, but at least it's a speck. Right there is a tiny little speck of gold. There's my finger for scale. But at least it's gold. And that means that it's worth it to spend more time to find maybe a better string or concentration of gold. Better snuffer that up. Haha. I took several more pans throughout that gravel bar and did not find any more gold. So I look down and I see this discoloration, and when I hit my shovel to it, that's all clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to scrape the top of this where the gravel meets the clay, because there are times when that clay layer becomes a gold trap. And maybe it's full of gold. Not a lot of black sand, but there's a little. Nothing. Well, too bad. One thing I see about these gravel bars is it looks like good material, but then when I shovel into it, the shovel just kind of goes into nothing. And it's just this silt, just pure blonde sand and silt. And these rocks just stay on top of it. I want an area that's kind of all churned up with these gravels. I mean, it looks like a nice river, and there might be the right deposit on it, but I'm just not finding it. And now it's starting to rain. Now I just came down a road called Copper Mine Road. So if there's a copper mine around, it means that maybe there was some mineralization going on here, which maybe brought a few specks of gold. Now there's copper mines in the area, I know that. There's never been a gold mine in the area, but at least it means there's some mineralization nearby. And there's rhyolite everywhere. Rhyolite is associated with copper. So maybe I'll find a copper nugget if nothing else. Here's some mineralized rhyolite, and that's quite possibly the source rock for any copper around here. I don't see any copper or any gold in it, but it's pretty cool. Nothing. Now this is my last stop of the day, the St. Croix River. St. Croix River borders Wisconsin all the way until it runs into the Mississippi. And this used to be the outflow of Lake Superior, back when that glacial dam rose Glacial Lake Duluth so high. If there's any gold in this county, I'm hoping I can find it here. Nothing here either. I'm going home. Well, we didn't have the best luck prospecting, but at least we got to see some places in the county. And I got one little speck in here. I think I'll leave that in there for next time. I'm not going to stop looking. I know there's gold out there, even if I have to drive a little bit farther to get it. But it's out there. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.